Guys, it's Matty back again with another card fight Vanguard deck profile. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and donate to the Patreon. Let's get this one started. Today we have Narukami, Dragonic Kaiser Vermilion deck profile. So, I mean, not Dragonic Kaiser Vermilion. What the fuck was I talking about? I'm sorry. Wrong deck profile entirely. I don't know what the fuck I just said. I mean, Vowing Sword Dragon. I apologize. I don't know why I said Vermilion. That was, for some reason, the thing I wasn't thinking about, yet I said it anyways. So, this deck, you know, we got a lot of new stuff. If you know me personally, I'm gonna keep telling the story every time it comes to it. When I first started Vanguard, I bought 3 trial decks. One was the Kamui Mechanical Soldier Gold Root Tile main. Then there was Vowing Sword Dragon's trial deck, and then there was Solitary Liberator Gancelot. I ended up being a gold main because Ezel is cool, and I'm not saying anyone else isn't cool, I'm just saying I ended up maining Ezel's. Kamui's deck came first, but it just didn't click with me. And then there was the deck I kept heal sacking with, which, as you can guess, because I've already named the other 2, it was Vowing Sword. And now Vowing Sword has come back into V, and he has the one mechanic I have been waiting the entirety of Vanguard to get. And if we were still in V right now, I'd probably be an attorney running rampant, killing people. So, let's go ahead and get this started. First up, we have our starter, Eradicator Spring-Light Dracokid, 6k base, 10k shield, grade 0 with boost. Auto, when it's wrote upon, draw a card. If your opponent's Vanguard's a grade 1 or grade, you get a quick shield ticket. First up, I just love that Dracokid. It's so fucking cute. I mean, yeah, it's in here because it's an Eradicator, I'm not gonna lie, but I swear to you, it's so fucking cute. It looks so nice. It's all the goop of being a newborn with the electricity around it. Oh, I just want to hold it, but standard draw ability, and you get a quick shield of it. Nothing too special. Next up, we have our Draw PG in Wyver Guard Gold. 5k base, grade 0, boost, no shield, draw trigger. You know what a draw trigger does. You draw a card and something gets plus 10. Sentinel, you may have up to 4 Sentinels in deck. Auto guard circle, one place, discard a card from hand and choose one of your units, and it cannot be hit for the battle. So, you know, just a standard PG. I choose to run the PG over the crit Sentinel here just because, like, over test playing, I've somehow seemed to have more hand cards than needed, mainly because the deck binds out so much of your opponent's resources, both from field and from deck, that they kind of have nothing left to work with. So I like having those PGs for the big plays that they probably have left to work with. So gold is a really nice option. Trigger-wise, we just run Rainbow it, 4 Spark Edge, 4 Zephyr Kid Hayate, and then 4 of the heal I keep heal sacking with because that day will never stop coming, I guess. I'm not so sure why. But, some people might disagree with these crits because it's an Excel deck, but I want to run the crits because, you know, the Vanguard Vermilion, not Vermilion, I keep saying Vermilion, I don't know why. Fuck, now I don't remember his name. Vowing Sword Dragon, yeah, Vowing Sword Dragon. He gives power, he gives a lot of power. You don't really need front, especially with test playing of yesterday. Crits are a way to go. Not too many crits, not too many fronts. Let's just put him at 4-4, and then that's Seibo, because why not? I don't want to put the Heal Guardian. I've already said it multiple times, but I'll say it one more time. I don't like Heal Guardians. They affect my play too much. They possibly prohibit you from G-assisting, and they are 5k less guard, and they're vanillas after grade 3. So, don't really like them, especially because they're not for this deck, so no Heal Guardians here. On to our normal units, actually. 3 copies of Ceremonial, Bonfire, Eradicator, Castor, 8k base, grade 1, boost, 10k shield, auto rear, when placed, discard a card from hand, choose one of your opponent's from a rear guards, bind it, and this unit gets plus 5 for the turn. Okay, so, you know, just a discard 1, bind something, and it's a 13k swinger for the turn. I take that, that's really nice, and you don't have to pay counterblast or soul blast for it, so it's an okay in my book. 3 of. We have 4 copies of Isolation Eradicator Nusku, 8k base, 10k shield, grade 1 with boost, auto Vanner rear, when placed, look at top 5 cards from your deck, reveal up to 1 Eradicator and its card name for a bundle and put it to your hand, and shuffle your deck. If you put a card, you gotta discard 1. Okay, so because it doesn't say normal unit, this is a free search for almost anything. I don't think there is a crit with Eradicator and its card name, otherwise it would be here. I know there's a heal, because that's why that's here. There's no front with it, and there might be a draw trigger, but I know it wasn't the draw PG, there might be a PG, but I prefer the draw PG over this. So, the fact that it can just search anything in the main deck is really nice. I like almost anything. In this case, you just can't search triggers, but I like it. It's a really nice grade 1. It's not a once per turn. You can call down multiple. It has helped me draw into Vowing Sword so much because for some reason it won't come to my hand willingly unless like it's the turn that I'm supposed to ride to grade 3. But either way, I like Nusku. It's a really nice grade 1. 4 of. 4 of our new grade 1 and our last grade 1 somehow. That was quick. Eradicator Demolition Dragon. 8k base, grade 1 boost, 10k shield. Auto Vanner rear at the end of the battle that it attacked or boosted. If that attack hit, Doesn't matter what it hit. It could hit a rear guard, it could hit a vanguard. I don't know, it could hit the damage zone somehow. Draw a card, choose a card from your opponent's drop, and bind it. If you bound a card and it's on rear, put it to soul. Okay, that's good. You get a guaranteed draw regardless, as long as it hits. But then, you know, if they have a card on drop, you can bind it. But the point is, like, you don't have to get rid of it. I mean, yeah, you have to get rid of it if you do bind something. It is mandatory that you bind something if possible. But, regardless, if they have nothing in drop, you still get a draw out of it. I like that. It came in really helpful last night where my friend tried to play around it. Still screwed him over with Demolition's draw. And, you know, he can get more binding and he can send himself to soul for the cards that soul blast. Really nice grade 1 and nothing less than 4 copies. Oh, sorry about that. Next up is our grade 2 in Eradicator Spark Raze Dragon. Grade 2, Intercept, 5k shield, 9k base, auto van. When placed, this unit gets +5 for the turn. Look at top 5 cards from your deck, relate to one Eradicator and its card name from among them and put it to your hand. Shuffle your deck. If you put a card, you gotta discard one, and auto van a rear when its attack hits, soul blast 1 and draw a card. Okay, interesting skill. You may be wondering, why do I have this when I have Nusku? Well, I was gonna put Oban / whatever the grade 2 is. I don't remember what its name is. I know the grade 1's called Oban in place of this in Castor. But the reason why I chose these two over the other ones is because the other two require the other one of their units to be useful, because they both require each other to actually have their skills go off, which I don't want to just wait around for that to occur. So, especially when test playing, so many times I'm not drawn to either of them, no matter how hard I tried, or I would draw to one of them, but I would be missing the other, and the second one disappears. Both of them are useless. So I've chosen Spark Raze and Castor over that. Spark Raze, you know, he gets that top 5 search, and if you have to ride him on Van, which he is the main ride target, he's just at 3 because he's not the most useful after Van ride. You know, you get that top 5 search, kind of like Nusku does, and it's a 14k swinger. Plus that on-hit ability to draw a card, it's really easy to hit. Not that many cards in the deck Soul Blast. In fact, to memory, 2 cards Soul Blast, and this is one of them. 2 cards? Yeah, 2 cards in this deck Soul Blast, and this is one of them. So, not that hard to hit. I say 3 of. He's a nice 3 of. Next up, we have 3 of Fiendish Sword Eradicator Cho-Ou, 9k base, 5k shield, grade 2 with Intercept. The card I never used because it was on the limited list, and that was not the reason why I didn't use it. I just didn't want to run it at like 2 of, I think it was, limited 2. And all of my builds I wanted to run it at 3 of, so I was like, you know, when it gets unlimited eventually, which I was joking around with, I said I would run it. It got unlimited, so I kind of had no choice but to run it. Anyways, 3 copies of him. Auto van a rear when placed. Counterblast 1, choose a column. Bind one of your opponent's front row rear guards in that column and move up to 1 back row rear guard in the same column to the front row rear guard circle. So, you know, that's really nice. I don't think you have to bind. You can just pay the cost, not bind the front row if they don't have one, and then just still move something up. But still, Cho-Ou is really nice for just fucking around the board, bringing up more units because a lot of them can only bind front row. So nice that he can technically kill 2 birds with 1 stone. And then auto rear once per turn. At the end of the battle that your vanguard attack, if your opponent's front row has no rear guards, counterblast 1 and stand it. Okay. If that wasn't a once per turn, that would work really well with our backup grade 3. You can already assume what the fuck that is because it's a card that could technically attack twice. That alone tells you what it is. But Cho-Ou is just nice to have for that ability to get that restand. He is here mainly for the binding though, just to, you know, because of what I almost called him Vermilion again, because of what I can't remember his name. I don't know why. Vowing Sword Dragon's ability, he can bind more. So I like Cho-Ou. It's really nice grade 2. 3 of. I'm sorry, Pokemon Man, I'm sorry that I keep forgetting that he's called Vowing Sword. I don't know why I keep wanting to call him Vermilion. Maybe it's his art, I don't know. But for some reason I can't call him by his actual name. Next up, we have 4 copies of Lightning Whip Eradicator Suhail. One of my favorite grade 2s in terms of just both art and effects. 9k base, 5k shield, grade 2 with Intercept. Continues with rear guard. If this is on an additional rear guard circle, it gets +5. That's during both players' turns. So while yes, the Excel gift might not carry its +5 over, this one does. So this is at least a 14 during both players' turns. And if it's on an Excel gift, depending on which one it's on, it's either 19 or 24 during your turn. And auto van a rear when placed. If you have a Vanguard with Eradicator in its card name, discard a card from hand, choose an opponent's from a rear guard, bind it, and you draw a card. Here's what you do: this into this, draw. Not that hard. Really nice grade 2. He does the work. You don't have to counterblast. You don't have to soul blast. And you just get draws out of it. 4 of Suhail, because he's really that good. Next up, we have our new grade 2 in the form of Eradicator Spark Rain Dragon. 9k base, 5k shield, grade 2 with Intercept. Continues van rear during your turn. It gets +1 for each card in your opponent's bind zone. Okay, early game, before grade 3, that's not that much, especially if like they're not playing anything. But, first grade 3 turn. It doesn't go burr, but it goes row. It goes hard. It goes really hard. Spark Rains carries that with that effect. And then auto rear, at the end of the battle, the attack counterblast 1, choose the column this unit is in, bind all of its front row rear guards, and move all back row rear guards in the front row to the same column. Okay, I said this in the Ezel and the Vanity video. This can be a multi-attacker. Because what you can do, because it only, it adds power from it on its own. So unless, like, it hits certain numbers, you can still swing with the Vanguard. But also, it doesn't have to swing at the Vanguard for this to go off. It can swing at a rear guard. You swing, bind a column, bind it and the opponent's front row rear guard in the same column as it. Move your back row rear guard up, which can be anything. For all I know, it could be another copy of Spark Rain. Move it up, move their back row up, boom. You got more power because it's for each card in your opponent's bind zone. Really nice grade 2 to have, and it can apply multi-attack. Really nice card. And also, finally, something that you don't want to put on an Excel gift. 4 of. Amazing card. And now we're on to our grade 3s. 4 copies of Eradicator, Dragonic... Sorry, I didn't give this the respect it deserves. Ride the Vanguard! Break the lightning and crush all with your asunder! Eradicator, Dragonic Descendant, the Vanguard! I was going to try to hit my hand against something, but then I remembered the small pain that I felt last time I did that, so I don't want to do that again. And also, I fucked that line up so much, but I still got part of it down. Also, this is the first time I'm noticing it, but oh, those purple wings. Oh, I made the right decision trying to buy him. I still failed to buy him because that's how my luck is, but still. 12k base, grade 3, twin drive Excel gift, continuous in general. When you would ride this card, if your Vanguard is a unit with Eradicator in its card name, this card is placed with all their abilities until end of turn. Okay, basically what that means is if your current Vanguard, before you ride this, is an Eradicator, this thing gets its abilities. For example, say I were to ride this on top of this. So I would gain its on place, get +5 and look at top 5, and then also gain its on hit, Soul Blast 1 to draw a card. That is basically what it means, and you're meant to combo this with grade 3s, but still that's really good that he can also apply it to grade 2s, and he's also the only other card in the deck that's Soul Blast besides Spark Raze. And then, speaking of a Soul Blast skill, act Vanguard or rear guard once per turn, Soul Blast 1, choose one of your opponent's front row rear guards, bind it, your opponent chooses one card from his or her back row rear guards, and moves it to an open front row rear guard circle. So it doesn't matter where it is on board, it doesn't have to be in the same column as the bound unit, it gets moved. So even if it's back center, it's going to move to the front row. I like that about Descendant, he's really nice to have. But then his other skill, Auto Van, once per turn, when its attack does not hit, counterblast 1 and discard a card, stand it, and it loses the drive for the turn. So, that standard ability from the old days. If I remember correctly, you had a way to guard or force them to guard it because it could gain a crit if you counterblasted 2, and I think it would get +5 as well. I might be wrong on that, or maybe it was swing, it gets +1 crit, and that's why you would guard it. But still, Descendant, I like that, keeping its old restand style, forcing them to kind of take it or guard it. Either way, that's partially why I run crits. Like, they know, okay, he has a chance of drag check and crit. Do I want to take this and take the chance, or do I guard this, but then he also gets a restand and probably sees a crit anyways? What's the best course of action there? And that's what I like about Descendant so much, because he can play Mindfuckery with the opponent. And he can also gain... I almost said a Vermilion again. He could also gain Vowing Sword's ability, which, speaking of Vowing Sword, let's get to our main grade 3, who I keep saying wrong, and now I have no excuse to get it wrong because his name's in the bottom left. Eradicator! Vowing Sword Dragon! I think I know why, because for some reason in my mind, it doesn't click to me that this is a Thunder Dragon, and when I see this art, I, for some reason, think of, like, Vermilion, so maybe that's why I keep thinking this is Vermilion instead of Vowing Sword, some way, somehow, because its OG art, in my opinion, doesn't look anything like this. So, and I mean, I know it was a few years, or it's been years after this has been designed, but still, I don't know why I get the Vermilion feeling from this, but point is, let's do its skill. 12k base, grade 3, twin drive Excel gift, Auto Van. When your opponent's normal unit is bound other than from their deck during this turn, your opponent searches their deck for up to one card with the same card name as the bound card, they bind it, shuffle their deck, and you choose one of your units and it gets +5 for the turn. If none were bound, it gets +10 instead of 5. Okay, we have a lot to unpack from that. First, either they bind something and you get +5, or they don't and something gets +10. So that's a good ability. But also, yes! Bushy! Yes! You finally gave Vanguard a deck that can deck mill your opponent. And, best part is, this fucks over Granblue because it doesn't actually send them to drop. Bushy, you have answered my prayers, and you gave it to one of my first 3 deck mains I've ever had to use. Bushy, I don't know what you've been doing. I don't know if you just broke into my house and spied on me from my window, which I proceed to question why, but I'm not going to question it. Hey, Bushy, if you're watching this, though, can the next one be Ezel's? Can I petition for that? Everyone watching this, help me petition for Ezel's, because I want to make this a fair matchup now. But, Yeah, I like Vowing Sword. Also, bring back Guld Rutile. That is something important. But anyways, back to the topic. I like him. He can kind of get rid of all of your opponent's main playmakers because they're most likely going to call their main playmakers to the field. And when they don't, you... Granted, nothing binds from drop zone yet. I'll finish that part later. But, you know, you can bind stuff from field and get rid of their mains that are on the field, or you can bind stuff from drop, which I'll get to in a hot second, which can also get rid of their units from deck. And granted, they have to be the same name, they have to be normal units, but A, you're getting rid of main playmakers, which I love so much about him. So then his other skill, which is auto, when it's rode upon, standard break ride skill, call it to rear and choose a card from your opponent's drop zone for every 2 cards to your damage zone and bind it. So that is a way to bind 2 more cards. Unless you're in a relay fight, then technically that would be 5 more cards. But you know, that's a way to bind 4 cards in total, and you can take their main playmakers from drop. I like that. He's so powerful. And if you combine that with Descendant, oh, that's really good. And if they give us a way to ride during the battle phase in Narukami, oh, this deck is going to go burr real fast. It's going to go burr. Because what you could do is ride this, do the thing from Narukami and ride during your battle phase, call this from Soul, sorry, this had the ability of this guy, call it from Soul, you do a lot of binding, oh, it would go burr. Amazing grade 3, I love it, it's amazing, 4 of. Gift-wise, we have 6 XL1s. When acquired, you may put it on a new front or rear guard circle, and the rear guard circle gets plus 10 during your turn. Add it to your left or right rows, left first. Then you go to right front row after that, alternate between the 2 because that is a legal thing. But still, it's just a way, that's the more powerful option. I rarely see people use XL1 now because, like, XL1 was just, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't necessarily the best because it always kind of required you to have units in hand. And while, yes, now it's better, back in those days, it was kind of hard to hit. You'd only use XL1 like if most of your deck had the ability to recycle. I think Vanquisher might have been the only one that I can recollection that may have gone XL1. That's the only deck I remember seeing win XL1 at some point. And then there's XL2, or like, sorry, Vanquisher was the most one I saw most of the time use XL1. XL2, when acquired, it's the same thing with the number from a rear guard circles. Instead of 10k, though, it's plus 5, and you draw a card. So, you know, a way to recycle your hand, which is really nice. It's what XL needed back in those days. So, yeah, you run them both as 6 just in case, because that's how rulings work. You don't want to run out of gifts. And we have our quick show, which is just when one of you is attacked, it gets plus 5k for the battle, and it's a blitz order. So, that was the deck. I hope you guys enjoyed. I really like Vanquisher, fuck me. I really like Vowing Sword Dragon. It's amazing. It's an amazing grade 3. It can bind stuff from deck. It does exactly what I want it to do. It can bind from drop, which is amazing for an Eradicator. It's one of my favorites of all time, and I'm really glad that it brought back. Let's see, when I'm editing this, I'm probably going to put a counter of how many times I called it fucking Vermilion. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, donate to the Patreon, follow the Discord, join the Discord, follow the Twitch, and I'll see you all in the next one. Don't forget to stand up, your Vanguards.